lot of people don't know, man. You know, I ain't gonna say who it is, but it's a real famous rapper and it's a real famous R&B chick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pimp had a naked. He had a recording of them. I think he died with it, but he could have made millions of dollars. And some of the people that's higher up in rap, if they would have seen that tape, you know what I'm saying? You think that Kim Kardashian shit was something?
Yeah, this would have blew it out the water.
Man, this shit was this. I'm gonna use your imagination. The biggest R&B chick in the game.
I already know who it is.
And one of the biggest rappers, you know what I'm saying, that made the most money in the game.
Wow, dang, I know who that is. God, no,
we ain't gotta go no further.
He had the tape.
Man, listen, I tried to get that tape.
Hey Z, you're ugly ass. Your wife got fucked, she got fucked, boy. Shit, bitch is a freak, she a freak. Pimp-C put that dick all up in her. I heard he killed him because of that. Who killed somebody over some pussy? Jay-Z, I'll make a beat.
The most, I think, just really emotional and crazy, like VH1 behind the music that I've ever seen.
It was honest. I mean, a lot of people are afraid of honesty. You know what I'm saying? They're afraid to show who they are, you know, because they think it, you know, makes them look weak or whatever, or, you know, well, we all have flaws, man. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who tries to act like they don't, it's full of, well, you know what they're full of.
Yeah. That's why I always say you were so necessary, because you do come with a lot of honesty and a lot of truth.
Yeah.
Yes, you didn't know your daughter well enough, because she just started all the girls. Impulse control issues? I don't know. I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp-C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston. Why did that house burn up?
So with that being said, let's go back. You mentioned Pimp-C earlier. With that being said, did Pimp-C really have a tape of somebody in the industry that would break the internet? You look like you done seen it, Marvin. You done seen it. Marvin seen it.
Tell me what it is.
Hey, man, tell me what it is. We still trying to find out who was in this Pimp-C tape.
We really need to dig in on how anyone who tries to spill the tea on Jay-Z ends up silenced or labeled as crazy. Look at the late, great DMX. He supposedly accused Jay of being in cahoots with shady industry bigwigs. And then there's Pimp-C, who also met a sketchy end after beefing with Jay. But wait, there's more. Rumor has it that Pimp-C had a thing with Beyonce, which supposedly didn't sit well with Jay at all. But what exactly did DMX and Pimp-C see that made them realize what the industry's really about? It's some heavy stuff, guys, so let's dive right in.
A lot of the love I had for wanting to be a part of the industry is not there anymore. I don't even associate myself with the industry. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an industry artist. I'm an artist in the industry. You know?
And you've always stood alone, and you know, bloodline.
Okay. You're not gonna see me at every party, every industry party, all the clubs. I go somewhere quiet, man, shoot pool with me and my mans and them. You know what I'm saying?
So let's first get into the DMX and Jay-Z drama. Even though Jay-Z publicly showed respect when DMX passed, there's this feeling that DMX never really trusted him. People even say that Jay messed with DMX's 6th album because he was scared of the competition. Jay-Z has never admitted to doing that, and after DMX died, he went on LeBron James' show and claimed that despite their rivalry, it was all love between them.
So my first Grammy win, I wasn't in. I wasn't even in the building because I boycotted the film. So there was a competitive thing, but it was big love. He was so competitive with me. I never met a human being more competitive with me, like ever. Not even my big brother. Like no one.
But here's what Jay-Z left out. According to DMX, Jay was the one playing dirty. In 2004, when Jay-Z became the president of Def Jam Records, DMX said that's when things went south. DMX had been killing it for Def Jam for years, dropping 5 consecutive #1 albums from 1998 to 2003. But when Jay took over, DMX claimed he tried to sabotage the release of his 6th album, Year of the Dog, again.
We've been truthful because we want to know. We haven't heard from X in a long time.
Y'all know the story already, you know what I'm saying? Used to be my dog, you was in my left titty, you know, screenwriter died, I thought you would die with me, you know. What happened was, you know, like I said, I had the crazy track record, Def Jam, everything was good. You know, I go to do the 6th album, and, you know,
Jay-Z became president.
Yeah. You know, when he first got the job, he hit me with the call like, yo, dog, inmates just running the building like, yo, you good? Finish the album, shoot the video. So what happened? Niggas go on vacation and, you know, we don't know. What you mean you don't know? How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single, shoot a video, then don't know? Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know?
According to DMX, all this drama started because Jay-Z changed his mind about retiring from rap and wanted to eliminate any competition in his way.
You know, screenwriter die, I thought you would die with me. You know, what happened was, you know, like I said, I had the crazy track record, Def Jam, everything was good. You know, I go to do the 6th album, and, you know, somebody else takes over. Yeah. You know, when he first got the job, he hit me with the call like, yo, dog, inmates just running the building like, yo, you good? Finish the album, shoot the video. What happened? Niggas go on vacation and, you know, we don't know. What you mean you don't know? How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single, shoot a video, then don't know? Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label. Now you're back rapping again.
This was when DMX realized that Jay-Z would step on anyone to get ahead, prompting him to leave Def Jam. But there's more to why DMX had major trust issues with Jay-Z, and it ties back to Jay's connections with shady industry higher-ups. It's worth noting that while both Jay-Z and DMX made a huge impact on the culture and music scene, they handled business very differently. Unlike Jay, DMX always kept it real, calling out label owners for their tight grip on artists and refusing to bend to their demands.
They got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play their shit. Right. And, you know what I'm saying? They sucking the record label executive. It's like there's too much of that going on. Right. You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play my mother music. You know what I mean? Exactly. Now they want you all up under this. You know, sitting at the going to dinner with them and shit like that, and you know all that favor for a favor shit. I don't get down like that. Look, I give you the music, you give my money. That's it.
In 2005, DMX dropped the track "The Industry," where he exposed how the music industry really works. He raps, "If you ain't got a strong mind, the industry will break you down. It's a matter of time. The industry, vultures with nothing to feast on." And in another verse, X claims the industry wants new artists to sell their souls, adding, "The industry don't give an F about you, but the industry couldn't make a dime without you."
You know, I'm inspired by life. The game is bullshit, man. The game is shit. If you want to rap or sing or whatever, don't become a part of the game. You know what? Listen to a song I called "The Industry." And that pretty much explains, you know what I'm saying, what it's about. The industry. Man, it's not the same. The industry, it's not a f***ing game. The industry really is dying to get in. The industry, just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that. But I'm going dress like this and talk with the gap. The industry got y'all word meaning nothing.
Now, Jay-Z has been in the industry from the start. And over the years, he's faced a lot of accusations about betraying his friends and partners. One of those people is Dame Dash, co-founder of Rockefeller, who publicly claimed that Jay betrayed him by getting close to shady bigwigs in the music business. But Dame didn't stop there. He started naming names, and one person he called out was Liar Cohen, former Def Jam president and a close buddy of Jay-Z. Jay even calls Lair his mentor in his memoir Decoded. Now, Lair has been involved in plenty of drama over the years. Dame publicly accused him of being a culture vulture and using divide and conquer tactics to pit black artists and moguls against each other. But get this, in 2018, when Lair was on The Breakfast Club, he talked about the substance use crisis and expressed sadness over DMX's struggles. But when Charlamagne asked why he keeps signing artists who promote that lifestyle, Lair bluntly said that that's just how the business works.
So, you know, I don't like giving up people. I don't want to give up on people.
One of the biggest artists you ever had had a real bad drug problem, DMX.
I'm so sad. DMX.
It seems like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup and.
It's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing, our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
Don't you think that's hypocritical though?
It's opportunistic. Yeah. I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
And when asked about Dame calling him a culture vulture, Lair didn't even acknowledge Dame's existence.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
Who's Dame Dash? You brought him up. I don't even know him. So you bring his name up. I don't even know him. So
y'all made a lot of money together.
Made a lot of money.
Come on, Leo. Don't do that to him.
I don't know him. I really don't. So, I don't know what to tell you. I won't be complicit, but I will, you know,
This prompted Dame to fire back at Layer on IG, saying, "Thanks for this, Liar Cohen, for proving my point in true culture vulture form. They make money off us and then try to erase our true history and act like the real ones never existed." So you're probably wondering how this all ties back to DMX. Well, the buzz is that Layer influenced Jay-Z to mess with DMX's 6th album. But wait, it gets even wilder. When DMX passed, Layer disrespected him at his funeral. DMX's farewell was in Brooklyn on April 25th, 2021, and Layer didn't even show up in person. Instead, he sent a recording where he started off saying DMX was a good dude, but then out of nowhere, he called DMX a gremlin and said his passing wasn't a surprise.
To be recognized. And so the race against time was that we all know X is a gremlin and reckless, looking for a wall to crash into. X, if you listen to X, if you see X, his death is no surprise. If you listen to and you watched who and what X was.
Now, we all know DMX had his battles with substance abuse. But to bring up all that at his funeral, seriously? If Jay-Z saw Layer as his mentor, it's no wonder DMX never fully trusted him. But let's switch gears and talk about Pimp-C, because word on the street is that his beef with Jay and an alleged affair with Beyonce led to his untimely demise. Chad Lamont Butler, better known as Pimp-C, was a Louisiana MC best known for his work with Bun B as one half of the hip-hop duo Underground Kings, or UGK. UGK famously collaborated with Jay-Z on his Timbaland-produced hit single Big Pimpin' in 2000, which peaked at number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100 and achieved platinum status. But there was allegedly a lot of drama behind the scenes with Jay-Z and Pimp-C clashing all the time. See, Pimp-C was initially hesitant about hopping on Big Pimpin' at first because he felt some type of way about Jay-Z's past issues with Tupac. According to music executive Greg Taylor, who used to manage UGK, he spoke to Rockefeller co-founder Dame Dash about the possible collaboration, and Dame agreed to cut a $1 million check for UGK to work with Jay. But then when Taylor brought Pimp into the conversation, he suggested they should give that money to Tupac's mother, Afeni Shakur, instead.
I was like, what? Are you saying that Jay heard him say that, yo?
Yeah, Jay heard him. He heard him. Because I had to jump up and apologize for this nigga to clean that shit up quick. Because I was like, I didn't realize he was in the room. So when I seen him there, I was like, oh. And so I told him he had to come down and go see them and go talk to mom and go to lunch with, go to dinner with them and sit down and do it the right way. Because that's just how Pimp did it. If you didn't sit down and eat dinner with him and his mama, he ain't gonna break bread with you. That was just the game. Like, that's how he was raised. He had studied music. It was different, man. He knew music from the Conservatory of Music of Art. He had studied from an orchestra standpoint. His mom had invested in his career. So to be who he was, so by the time people seen him, it was the counterculture of discovering hip hop and rap down there. And they were like a country version of Run DMC and the Bun.
Great artists.
Or the new Ghetto Boys. It was like Jay Prince had them as the new Ghetto Boys. That's what they were. And luckily, they moved to Atlanta. We was able to get him with Short, and Short just put the game down, and the rest was history.
Right.
So that caused a ruckus because when they missed the first 2 Jay-Z albums because of it. And the next time around, I knew not to call Pimp because him and Jazzy was beefing. And the Master P was beefing. I was like,
but it turned out that Jay-Z was also on the phone listening, and he heard Pimp-C dissing him. And while Pimp-C eventually agreed to Big Pimpin' moving forward, he and Jay were never on good terms. In fact, according to Bun B, it took a lot of reverse psychology to convince Pimp to do a collab with Jay. And even though the song went on to become a massive hit, Pimp never rated it too high.
Texas, he would go on that run. That's when I first heard about that Texarkana. And they were all following back, and they all cashing him out with a verse of a track from him and a verse from Bun. And him and Mama was running that like a tight ship. And him and his boy Leroy was like just cold playing with it. So I knew these guys were different. And I knew Texas was a different place because I was already doing business with Tony Draper and them down there. With A-Ball and JG, Short was doing songs with them, and Drake was like one of his independent. We practiced that side yourself to yourself philosophy. But to see the Underground Kings come, they were like the Ghetto Boys 2.0. So it was really a blessing. And so when he moved up here, I found him a place. They moved up into it, out by the airport, and he put that studio up there. And I seen the Sunday morning after he'd come back from shows on the weekend, and all them cars out there rolling, everybody paying. Like, I seen full production. So he was making Jamal an independent album because he was coming out with a whole independent project. And then him and Short, we was making records. And him and Jazzy Faye was going nonstop. It was real. To lead them two in the room together was like nuclear fission and nitrous oxide mix.
He's a great person. Great person.
But there was allegedly something else that caused tension between Pimp-C and Jay. Now, this is only a rumor, but according to some insiders like Pimp and Ken, Beyonce and Pimp-C had a thing going on back in the day. Not only that, but Pimp and Ken also claimed that Pimp-C made a whole private tape with Beyonce.
They just moved. Or they haven't come back home yet. Right. But they carry no cultural identity to anything else on the East Coast. Right. Like musically. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of Timberlands in DC. You know what I'm saying? In that sense, you get what I'm saying.
Right. What was your energy like with the video shoot?
Video shoot was different because we never got, the video shoot was meant to be shot in Trinidad Tobago during Carnival. Yeah. And it was, but Pimp never got on the plane.
Shout out to all the Trinis.
He didn't get on the plane. For one, he was scared to fly. Flying internationally was a big problem for him. But he also had another situation at the time in Miami. He was preoccupied with some friends in Miami, friends that were actually expected to be at the video as well. So it's like, well, where's Pimp-C and where's
Gloria Valera?
Yeah, where are these people at? You know, they don't know where Pimp is and they don't know where she is and they don't know that they're together. Yeah. So they never got on the plane. So the majority of Big Pimpin' is in Trinidad and Tobago. It doesn't come to Miami.
Now, X-tape gossip aside, there's another wild theory circulating about Jay-Z and Pimp-C's relationship, and it's coming straight from Jaguar Wright, of course. And Jaguar's out here claiming that Jay might have been involved in Pimp-C's untimely demise. So to give you some context, back in early December 2007, Pimp-C was staying at the Mondrian Hotel in West Hollywood, working on new music and performing with Too Short. On the morning of December 4th, he was supposed to fly back home where his wife, Chinara, and his cousin Ed were waiting at the airport to pick him up. When they didn't hear from him that morning, his wife called the hotel and asked them to check on him. The staff found Pimp unresponsive in his room, and he was pronounced dead shortly after.
In the streets, this was my older brother. In the studio, I was his older brother.
I don't think Pimp would have accepted a Jay-Z verse to be of equal value to him.
And he showed you a tape that would probably break the internet in today's world.
Right. She's a big time R&B. You know what I'm saying? But it was a lot of big time R&B back then. You know, I ain't gonna call them bitches women. You know, you had Mary J. Blige, you had Beyonce.
A newly recovered tape allegedly featuring none other than the late Pimp-C and Beyonce has gone viral, and the rumors swirling around it are wild.
All I can tell you, there was a famous R&B chick. It was a guy that was getting money at the time.
Was this the footage Beyonce and her team feared would leak? And why was Jay-Z so desperate to keep this quiet? Is there something much darker beneath the surface?
If you gay, that's cool, but be gay and come on out and be that. Don't be in front of us and act like a straight up G, and then you get over here and you let any boy bust up your back.
Could this tape be connected to Jay-Z's alleged plans to silence Pimp-C once and for all? And now that it's been recovered, what does it mean for the future of the music empire Jay-Z and Beyonce built?
I think it would be embarrassing, you know, for her to, you know, have that out there at the rate and the status she is now.
Will this newly uncovered footage reveal the truth about Pimp-C's death and what Jay-Z might have been hiding all along? This story begins with Pimp-C, a legendary figure in Southern hip-hop, who wasn't afraid to speak out about the dark side of the music industry. But just before he could expose what he knew, he was found dead in his hotel room in 2007. The official cause of death was an overdose, but for years, fans and insiders alike have questioned whether something far more sinister was behind it.
But nobody talk about when we went and viewed the body. Man, Pimp-C head was this big. And his lips would look like plastic. His whole
Rumors have circulated that Pimp-C had footage that would expose some of the biggest names in the business, including Beyonce. But what was on that footage? And could it be the reason he lost his life? Some sources suggest that Jay-Z may have had a hand in keeping this tape buried. Was it part of a larger plan to keep Pimp-C silent, or was it something even more sinister? Let's dive into the mystery of this viral tape, Pimp-C's death, and the secrets of the music industry. Pimp-C wasn't just another rapper. He was a pioneer in Southern hip-hop, one half of the iconic duo UGK, and a man who spoke his mind no matter the cost.
And if you gay, that's cool, but be gay and come on out and be that. Don't be in front of us and act like a straight up G, and then you get over here and you let any boy bust up your back.
But his boldness came at a price. Pimp-C had seen things in the industry that he couldn't keep quiet about. He once warned that the business was filled with dirty dealings, but what he didn't say publicly was that he had proof. Pimp-C was reportedly in possession of footage that could have blown the lid off some of the biggest stars in the industry, including Beyonce. But before he could make his next move, he was gone. And now, years later, that footage is finally coming to light. Pimp-C's death in December 2007 hit the hip-hop world hard. Officially, they said he died from a mix of lean, codeine syrup, and sleep apnea, a condition where you stop breathing while sleeping. But over the years, many of his close friends, family members, and fans have questioned the story. They think something more sinister happened, with rumors ranging from secret tapes to Illuminati conspiracies. For context, back in late 2007, Pimp-C was in Hollywood, working on new music with Oakland rapper Too Short. On the morning of December 4th, Pimp was supposed to fly back to Texas to meet his wife and his cousin Edgar, but when he didn't show up, his family got worried. After repeated phone calls went unanswered, they asked the hotel staff to check on him. When they did, they found Pimp-C unconscious in his room, and sadly, he had already passed away. According to DJ Paul from 3-6 Mafia, the hotel room was like something out of a horror.
because there was blood all over the bed. But he was kneeled down like he had been praying. And the candles had been burnt all the way down. So they knew he had probably been dead for like a day or something, because he always lit these candles to help him sleep.
At first, people thought Pimp had been shot because of the amount of blood, but it turned out that wasn't the case. DJ Paul shared that Pimp's manager, Rick Martin, was also shocked by the scene, adding to the confusion. The official report from the coroner later stated that Pimp-C's death was an accident caused by his sleep apnea, which was made worse by his lean addiction. Pimp-C's love for lean was no secret in the hip-hop world. He, along with DJ Screw, was one of the first rappers to bring sipping lean into the mainstream.
There's just been a shocking revelation from federal authorities regarding a highly private and scandalous video involving none other than Jay-Z and Beyonce, reportedly taken during a wild party hosted by Diddy. Apparently, during a Homeland Security raid on Diddy's properties, some rather intriguing discoveries were made, including compromising footage featuring numerous beloved celebrities caught in scandalous situations. Speculation is rife that Diddy intentionally leaked this footage to authorities as a form of revenge against the Carters, allegedly due to their perceived lack of support during his legal battles.
She did several rappers from Houston. Okay, let's leave it that right there. Second of all, whoever she is, when she was getting banged, she liked to scream a lot. You know what I'm saying? And she was screaming a lot. You know, she was in
Scream or sing? What would you
like? Oh, fuck the shit out of me. You know, so it was like, you know, she almost like she sing, and she's a big time R&B.
Diddy's legal team are playing it rough and leaving no stones unturned to make sure that he never gets to see the four corners of a federal prison. And they are trying to implicate anyone and their mama just to prove that Diddy was just a freak and not a criminal. And now Beyonce's name is getting dragged into it, and it's all because of that alleged tape of hers with Pimp-C. Well, if the streets are to be believed, among the hordes of footage found during the raids, one of it belonged to Beyonce. So let's get into it and break down what's really happening. They are saying that if the prosecution is going to dig into Puff's freaky life by bringing in Cassie and the other escorts he had freak offs with, then the feds need to be looking in Jay-Z's and Beyonce's direction too, because they allegedly have just as much skeletons as he does lying around. And one of them has to do with Pimp-C and how his relationship with Beyonce might have had something to do with his untimely passing.
And there's a lot of mysterious celebrities, a lot of mysterious celebrity deaths in hotel rooms.
Wow.
And all these celebrities die in these hotel rooms by themselves. And
what do you think happened then?
I don't know what happened to them, but I know that when you die, everything gets all valuable. You get marketed in a different way when you're dead. So one of the things you got to look at as soon as a celebrity dies is, was it a homicide?
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got all these like mysterious like OD, it could be an OD or suicide or just found dead. It's just a lot of celebrities.
If you've been paying attention to the news floating around recently, then you know that ever since Diddy got locked up, there's been a lot of talk about tapes floating about in the industry and celebs trying to buy them up so they don't get leaked to the public. These tapes were supposedly kept by Diddy as some type of leverage. And it looks like Diddy might have had the right idea doing that, because a lot of these celebs are now turning around to deny knowing him or even being around him.
But don't surprise me, I actually met Beyonce before. That was one of the people be like, who you done met? You know what I'm saying? That like it threw you out, like it took you back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Beyonce, she I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? And, Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people he had put them out, but he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Me and maybe about 15 others. Right. Jay-Z and Beyonce being.
But when his house got raided, all the tapes got scattered around. Most of them show multiple big-name celebrities and powerful people bending over and contorting in ways we couldn't imagine. These tapes were allegedly about all kinds of things, from shady business dealings to freak-offs. And one of the tapes in Diddy's possession was rumored to be a tape featuring Pimp-C and Beyonce. Pimp-C was best known for his work with Bun B as one half of the hip-hop duo UGK. UGK was big in the South, and Bun B, where he said that at their height, UGK UGK recorded their music in the studio next to Destiny's Child. Beyonce was reportedly a fan of theirs and was fangirling enough to get the attention of her father Matthew Knowles, who was her manager at the time. According to Bun B, Matthew pulled Pimp-C to the side and straight up told him not to mess with his daughter. Pimp came back to the studio laughing, and it looks like he ended up doing the same thing that Beyonce's dad told him not to do.
You know? A funny story, though, about Beyonce. Back when they were much younger, we had a recording session. This was actually the day that UGK and Fifth Ward Boys recorded Swang Wide. So there's a lot of our guys in there. There's a ton of Rap-A-Lot guys in the building. And Destiny's Child is recording in another room in the studio.
Okay.
And so Pimp goes in. They're like, Destiny's Child over. He's like, oh, I want to meet them. They tight. You know, he goes in. And he introduces himself. And I guess Beyonce was kind of taken aback that she was meeting Pimp-C. Again, this was before Destiny's Child was a worldwide phenomenon. And so he comes back in the studio, and we're recording and hanging out, and Matthew Knowles comes in, and he asks, Pimp, can I talk to you for a minute? And so they leave out for a couple of minutes, and Pimp comes in, and he's dying laughing. And we're like, what's wrong? He's like, yo, Matthew Knowles just told me don't f his daughter, man. Please don't.
And now, with Diddy's trial officially on, he's drawing attention to the infamous tape of Beyonce and Pimp-C that's been going around, and trying to allude to the fact that the tape, along with Pimp's ill-fated relationship with Jay-Z, might have been the reason he got offed the way he did. Do y'all remember Big Pimpin'? It was a smash hit and the only time Jay-Z and UGK ever worked together. And apparently, the reason why this was the only collab between UGK and Jay-Z was because Pimp and Jay didn't get along at all. When Pimp-C first heard that Rockefeller had cut a $1 million check for UGK to do a song with Jay-Z, he refused to come on board because he felt some type of way about Jay-Z's past relationship with Tupac. He felt like doing a song with Jay was against his principles, and said that Jay should be giving that money to Tupac's mother rather than giving it to them for a song.
I said, but right now, I got $1 million check for you. All we want was $100,000. I was just like, who is that with? I said, with Rockefeller. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. He was like, I'm watching Dan with the checkbook, he writing out. He was like, ain't that with, over there with Jay-Z? I was like, yeah. He was like, man, tell him to take that check to go give it to Tupac mama, man. He's gonna be stealing all my. I was like, what?
When some music execs were trying to get Pimp-C to agree to the collab, Jay-Z was also there in the room, and he heard Pimp-C straight up talk about the way he felt and even dissed him.
Jay heard him say that, yo?
Yeah, Jay heard him. He heard him. Because I had to jump up and apologize for this nigga to clean that shit up quick. Because I was like, I didn't realize he was in the room. So when I seen Hov there, I was like, oh.
The music execs tried to make it up to Jay-Z, and Pimp-C eventually agreed to do the song. But while the song went on to be a bigger success than imagined, the relationship between the two of them was done. Pimp never talked about Jay-Z and never even considered the success of Big Pimpin' as something to be proud of. But let's get into the heart of it, because the music wasn't the only reason there was beef between Pimp-C and Jay-Z.
Pimp-C really have a tape of somebody in the industry that would break the internet. You look like you done seen it, Marvin. You done seen it. Marvin seen it.
Tell him who it is.
Hey, man, tell him who it is. I wish we still trying to find out who was in this Pimp-C tape.
All I can tell you, there was a famous R&B chick, and it was a guy that was getting money at the time. And, you know, Pimp, he used to be in the studio, and every now and then he'd have a camcorder, so he was able to get some footage. And he wanted to do something with the footage, but I don't know why he didn't do nothing with it, but if I could have got a hold of that tape.
According to insiders close to the situation, like Pimp and Ken, there was something going on between Beyonce and Pimp-C back in the day. And it isn't just something that Beyonce can put in the past and forget, because there is a whole private tape featuring the two of them that no one wants coming out. Before he passed, Pimp-C got bolder, calling out execs in the industry like Diddy for being on the DL and making the lives of everyone a living hell because of it.
Doing a lot of fugazi shit out here, man. You know what I'm saying? These niggas that flip